Hi, I'm Fashion Hendricks. Welcome to Fabhair.com. Today we're going to learn about how to make an invisible part. Finally! So, today we're going to need some wonderful fab hair. This is the Brazilian natural wave product. Okay, that's sold on our online part of the website Fabhair.com. You're also going to need a mannequin or either a live client to do it on. And you're going to need scissors, you're going to need some glue. And you're going to need a blow dryer. So, get all your stuff and meet me back here and we'll get started. The first thing we're going to do is what they call in the hair world splitting the track. So a track looks like this. But a lot of people don't know that this is actually two tracks glued together, and what we're going to do is take our scissors and separate the two of them, because when we put the tracks on our head for the invisible part, we don't want it to be lumpy or high, so we split the track in order to make it as flat and seamless as possible. We do it with a pair of scissors, just like that. Split the track all the way down. A lot of times people use a razor to do this. You can use a razor or scissors, whichever one you're comfortable with. For a full head weave like this one, you probably want to use about 3 bundles of hair. Especially if you're doing an invisible part, you're going to need 3 bundles because the invisible part portion of the weave takes up about a half a pack of hair. So what you're going to do first is make sure that you are measuring your pieces out correctly. When I say that, I mean to say I'm doing a center middle part. So this part right here is going to be the only part that's going to show on this style. So I'm going to measure it. I'm going to take my one piece, go from here to here, because I know that's where I'm going to glue my first piece down, just like that. And I'm going to cut it. So now this is my first piece. I know all of my pieces are going to be about this size, and I'm going to measure them up till I get to the top. So I'm just going to cut multiple pieces that same length, using this first piece as a guide. They don't have to be exactly perfect, but you want to make them pretty similar to the first piece that you cut. You're going to need some bonding glue. You're going to take your first track, measure it out, and make sure to not put the hair inside your part, which is this. So you're going to take the bonding glue, put it on your weft, and secure that first piece down just like that. Use your blow dryer, dry the glue. Now you're going to take your next piece and go right on top of that, but right above it, not leaving any space in between the two tracks. You take your glue, put it on your track, place it right above your first piece. Take your blow dryer, dry it. You take your third piece. So this is what you're going to do all the way until you get to your top. This is your top where your part ends. This is not part of your part. This is the top. Your part goes to here. Do not put these small pieces past this point. You see, that's her first side of her invisible part. Now we're going to go do the other side. So now we're going to cut multiple pieces like we did for the first side on our second side to make sure that they match up. So we're going to take our first piece for our second side, add a little glue, add your hair but not inside your part. You're going to keep your part open so it looks like you actually have a part in your head when you really don't have any of your own hair out. Get your next piece, add a little glue, right on top of the last piece that you did. Now the thing about an invisible part that some of you might not know is that once you get one done, you have to get it done over about every 2 to 3 weeks because naturally your hair is going to separate the part. And as it gets wider and wider, you want to do it over so it can look fresh. So you see how nice that part is? There's no hair inside the part. You keep that nice and clean. Your lines are nice and straight. That's how your part should be. You don't want to make it wider than this because on its own it's going to separate and get wider anyway. So you want to start it kind of close so it looks good the entire time, okay? So now I'll show you how to do the closure part of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to close up our invisible part, once again using hair that's been split. So you're going to put a little glue. Kind of start out slow. Don't get messy with your glue. So a little bit at a time is better than a whole bunch at once. So we're going to go close again to this track. And we're going to keep it close the entire way around. Okay, and periodically as we're going in our circle, we're going to dry. So a lot of times when I do an invisible part, I use a product that's called Growth Protect Serum, our Morning Glory. And what that does is it keeps your hair protected from the glue that you're placing on when you add the invisible part. So stay with me because I'm about to do a part that's really important, and a lot of people always wonder or ask how to do this. When they're doing a quick weave, they always want to know how to close the center up to make it look really, really flat so you don't have that pointy look at the top of your weave. So I'm going to get to that part in just a second, so make sure you're paying close attention. And you can always rewind, pause if you need to. But this next part that I'm going to do is pretty important. So now we are going to do our closure piece. Once again, checking to see where the center of our closure piece should land. From our part piece, we know the center of this is going to be right here. So we're going to take a longer piece of hair that we've already split the track on. We're going to roll it in a circle. Don't roll it too tight because you need to spread it out to make it flat. This is just for quick weaves or invisible parts. Okay, so at the end of your coil, it should look like this. Okay, so you're going to take your glue. You're going to put it on the surface area of that piece that you coiled up. Okay, then you're going to take that piece, turn it upside down, put it on your middle, like so, and take your dryer and dry it. And when you have that dry a little bit, what you're going to do is separate it out, putting your finger right in the center of it, and fan it out equally. If any of your pieces come up, make sure you just add a little glue onto it. Keep it down. So after you find your center, you're going to blow dry a little bit more. Here's your part. Here's your center. Just blow dry a little more. Just like that. Make sure that when you're blow drying, you keep your hand up at the top of the person's head to make sure that it's not too hot, because if it's too hot on your hand, then you know it's going to be too hot for the person's head. And there you have it, a U-part wig made with an invisible part on top. I've shown you how to lay your tracks. I show you how to make your part very narrow. and I show you how to close it up. Very important how to close it up, because this is what's going to make it all come together. I think she looks pretty good. Once you get it down how to do it correctly, you are going to love this method of weaving. Make sure you go on the shop online part of Fabhair.com. Hopefully you'll try this method, an invisible part done by Fashion Hendricks for Fabhair.com. Make sure you come back and see the other videos that we have available.